Bruce visits dual locations in hopes of receiving an incredible reward. A war has been declared. The Uesugi clan want blood. The ensuing sieges are swift, many garrisons cut down with brutal efficiency. However, Bruce realizes that the Takeda will make peace soon and heads for the town. Unfortunately, it's a little too late, so instead he decides on the newest opponent, the SATAKE clan. Hello and welcome back to Shokuho and the Dreams of Legends submod. So where are we now? Well, we are in a dual location. Now don't get me wrong, I absolutely love these because I have no idea what we're gonna get. Could get some crazy cool stuff, or I could just lose. Yeah, you know, it's very likely. Okay. Let's do this. I'm going to be fighting with a katana. It's a little bit unfortunate that we're fighting with wooden weapons, but I guess that is to be expected considering you are otherwise going to either win instantly or, well, die instantly. So yeah, it's you know, it's not too bad. I'm pretty happy with it. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to be hopefully heading to a bunch of other areas. And look at this. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got pretty nice. I'm not entirely sure if we got the mount from this, but we did get a very nice helmet, which, I mean, to be fair, you know, if you think about it, you would have been able to get this at the very beginning of the game, technically. If you went into the dual location at that moment and you won, you'd be able to use this helmet. And well, from what I can tell, it is actually really good. I just think that a lot of our people... Ah, hello there we go. Okay, let's just swap that out for him. And yeah, I think most of our people actually have really good helmets, so we don't really need to worry about that. But there is another dual location over there. Now, bear in mind that we are just now declaring war against the Uesugi clan. And for me personally, I'd obviously like to do something against them. I think that's pretty fun. But yes, it's going to take me quite some time to get there. So I thought what I would do is just go to the various dual locations first, because you never know what you're going to get. You know, we might get something amazing. Oh yeah, this guy is going to be really difficult. Okay. Alright, there we go. Not too bad. Not too bad. I thought we were going to be a little bit, you know, a little bit more dicier than that, but no, it was absolutely fine. But here's the thing. I think the yokai has the ability to give us something really good. So, yep, there it is. Yep, look at that. It's actually better. It's actually better than what I was using. So we're going to be using that. There we go. We are, I mean, technically, you know, it could be considered a moose helm. Not really. It's more of a deer, I guess, more of a stag, I suppose. But yeah, something like that. Anyway, we are going to be going to the last dual location, which I believe... where is it now? Is it over here? I'm pretty sure it was over here somewhere, but now I don't seem to be able to see it. Yeah. Well, it surely hasn't disappeared, right? Now, before we go any further, I just wanted to stop by and actually put some money in Ichijodani's garrison here, just trying to make sure that they are as good as possible when it comes to their constructions. As you can see, they are building level 2 fortifications. We're also going to be getting a level 3 marketplace after that, and otherwise everything else is tier 3 apart from food stores, aqueducts, and siege workshop. So, oh, actually, and the dojo, whoops. Anyway, yeah, those things are going to be amazing once they're done. And you can see here that Ichijodani is actually looking extremely good right now. I mean, look at this. We're getting 4 prosperity every single day. Obviously, it could be... we could get more prosperity, but I think it's great, you know, generally. Having any town at around 5,000 and above, yeah, you're gonna be pretty happy with that. You're gonna be making some pretty decent money. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the other Duel location. I don't know why. Maybe it do they move around or something like that? I mean, yeah, of course, you know, they're gonna appear in places, I assume. They're not all just, you know, set and fixed, are they? I don't think so, right? Anyway, well, what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna go to Masuyama Castle, because Masuyama Castle is, well, the closest to us. And also it is actually pretty far away from the enemy too. Alright, so we're literally just going to recruit a couple of prisoners here, and then we're going to be going straight on in. I have built 2 braziers and a battering ram. The reason why 2 braziers is because there's, well, as far as I could tell, I couldn't find the 4th anchor point for some reason. So, yes. Anyway, we're going to be just going in there. The 3rd one was destroyed, so yeah, that's obviously the reason. But, yeah, otherwise, this should be pretty challenging for us, because there's 500 people. I'm gonna have to basically kill, I would say, probably over half of them for us to have any opportunity to win this. And never mind. Okay, yeah, no, we might not have to worry about this too much. This is a pretty wonderful siege layout, in my opinion. This is definitely one of my favorites. It is a little bit difficult, though. It is a little bit difficult because you do have a significant presence of opponents on the battlements. Generally, they are almost, well, they're pretty much everywhere. I mean, as you might expect, of course. Yes, we're getting a little bit problematic with our bow here for some reason. Snow, of course. Yes, the snow is actually going to make a huge difference to our damage. I literally might just go in through the front door. I think that's probably the best course of action for us here, because going in here basically makes it so that we don't have to really worry so much about projectile damage and stuff like that. Oh, yes, I remember. Okay, yeah. These guys like to use a lot of guns. That's actually kind of problematic. Oh, dear. Because if bows are kind of terrible, I think guns are probably going to be unaffected, or at the very least, they always have a higher base damage. So if we do get shot in the face, well, we're going to know it, and it's going to give us quite a headache. So hopefully we're not going to get that. But we are indeed preventing massive amounts of reinforcements from getting over to the enemy, which is obviously perfect. Unfortunately, I am going to have to do a little bit of something here, because these guys are, as you can see, blocking from every single direction. That has to be some of them. Ooh, that's very frustrating, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I could go for some overheads and could go for some thrusts and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it's just so inefficient for us to go with that, because it just doesn't have enough, you know? There's not enough sweepage, you know? The sweeping strikes that we require don't really happen with those swings. So yeah, that's the reason why I don't really like using them that much. I like this. That's nice. A nice little thrust right there. Now I could technically go up this way. Ooh, nice sidestep right there. Woohoo, that was a little bit close right there. Might have actually taken some pretty big damage from the fellow's overhead swing. Now I am going to continue trying to do damage to the enemies. They do seem to be coming out of here quite a bit. Let's just hit this gate. As we've seen in the previous episode, the enemy can actually block your attacks when they are on the other side of the gate, just purely due to hitboxes. It's not their, you know, they're not doing that on purpose. It's just literally hitbox problems. So yeah, but it's okay. It's fine. We're fine. And we're actually getting pretty nice kills here. Maybe what we can do is actually... let me go overhead real quick. There we go. Okay, yeah, little bit decent. But yeah, the obviously the horizontals are the way to go here. So much carnage being inflicted right now. And actually, you know what? I feel like we can probably do this almost every single siege. But I think the main problem with a lot of the sieges that we've had before is that we just get pecked to death. That's literally what it is. It's, you know, the classic adage, you know, death by 1,000 cuts. That's generally what tends to happen to us. With the exception, rare exception actually, of getting shot in the face and dying instantly. That doesn't really happen that often, because gunners, well, gunners are either inaccurate, or there's just not enough of them, or we just kill them before they have any opportunity to do anything. So that is a possibility. As you can see though, we are absolutely mowing them down, and it is pretty much, I'm not sure, is this a done deal? I'm not sure. I could say it's a done deal. We're doing some nice overheads here, by the way. This is nice. Oh yeah. I think the overheads are really doing some work right now. Usually, I'm gonna say, yeah, overheads not great to use in this kind of situation, but no. Sometimes you just have to. It's just too good. There we go. Nice. And these guys are all retreating. I'm actually surprised it took them this long to retreat, because we were inflicting so much damage with two-handed, and we have the terror perk, so that does reduce the morale of our opponent dramatically, and it makes a huge difference. You know, it makes an absolutely huge difference. Oh wait, hello. I fell off the wonderful scaffolding that they have here. Well, it's not really scaffolding, I suppose, but yes, I fell off the ramp. And I'm just going to zoom everything ahead here, because the enemy is hiding out in some other location. And we also have these two, of course. Nice. And that's it. That is game over. And look at that. We lost 12. Okay, that's actually fine. I am perfectly happy with this, because we are going to be gaining so much renown. It's actually insane how much renown we're going to get for this. I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting a massive amount at least. I didn't even check. Oh, well, okay. That's classic, isn't it? Yeah, that's absolutely classic. I was like, yeah, so we're going to get a lot of renown. And then I basically decided that I was going to skip it. Yes, that's wonderful. Well, whatever the case, I think we could probably estimate how much we got, because we're going to take a look at our clan screen in just a second. Pretty sure it was good. Let's have a look. Yeah, we got... I think probably about 80. I would assume about 80 at least. I'm not going to claim this fief. This is, again, this is way too far away from a lot of our other fiefs here. Yeah, so, actually, is it? Yeah, no. It's pretty far from our other fiefs, so I don't really want to deal with that. We're going to go over to the next castle here. I was kind of hoping for a dual location. There is actually a port here. Yeah, I was meaning to do this for quite some time. Which was literally just go to a port and buy some boats. I need to actually make some additional boats, as you can see right here. I have way too few space, so I'm going to get a little bit more. We're going to just spend 100,000 on this. There is really no point in skimping on it, and considering the fact that we are rolling in cash at the moment, there really is no point in being a cheapskate, I suppose. So yeah, otherwise, let me actually just take a quick look here. Our wife leveled up in polearms. Yeah, most of this stuff is kind of terrible for her, I suppose. I do need to give her a two-handed as well, by the way. Don't worry about that. I will be giving her a two-handed. Vote for the new owner. Yeah. Oh no, please don't give it to me. Oh no. Okay, yes, they're going to give it to me. There's nothing I can do about that. I could have voted for these guys, but it wouldn't have made any difference. So that's great. Ugh. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay. They've convinced me. I'll take care of it then, I guess. Ugh. Okay, we're gonna just go for a nice little bit of money. This is actually a pretty nice castle, to be honest. I mean, look, a lot of tier 3s, and we've got some very nice food supply. The food supply is actually kind of crazy. Okay, so we're gonna move on to Nechi Castle. I don't actually know whether this is gonna be particularly good. I feel like we should probably take Kasugoyama instead of anything else. There's another dual location right there. I can't get around there that easily. Shall we take the castle first, or shall we go for the dual location? I think we'll probably take the castle first. I think that's a little bit more pressing, don't you? Okay, it's a bit more pressing. Let me just go and see if there are any recruits here that we really want to go for. Okay, so we got some people. Is this guy actually? No. 165. We could go for this guy. He comes with an axe. Might be kind of fun to steal the axe and give him something else. What I find a little bit strange is that this guy has 195 in one-handed rather than his two-handed, but who am I to say, eh? Who am I to say? I mean, their stats are somewhat randomized, a little bit, at least. Whoa, this guy's looking insane. Alright, I think we're probably going to get this guy. He's got 275. Yes. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, that's who we're going for right here. Let's promote this guy. Yes, I will promote him. There we go. I think this is pretty much my one companion slot. Yep, there we go. It was our one companion slot. So yeah, Shinjiro. Okay, so he is going to be pretty crazy for us. He's very, very highly skilled. So let me just actually see. So he's using a Yari only. Okay. He's using some pretty terrible gear as well. So I'm going to give him my old helmet. He's got, no, never mind. He's got good torso armor, but everything else is not looking super amazing. Oh, no, his braces are actually fine as well. And he does have some pretty decent shoulder pads too, so we don't really need to worry about that. Does he have good gloves? Yes, he has good gloves. And he has, not great boots, but yeah, okay, we can give him some minor increase right there. Okay, so unfortunately he's using a Yari. I would like to get him something better, but I highly doubt I'm going to have anything. 81 cutting damage, 76 cutting damage, 139, but this is obviously one of those. It's a very, very slow weapon. And most likely he's going to get absolutely massacred with that. Okay, yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to go over to the dual location first. We might get something pretty cool from it. And then I was kind of hoping that there'd be a town nearby, but the town is basically the same distance away as the enemy town. And I was kind of hoping to go for the enemy town, well, somewhat soon. Oh dear. Okay, well, let's just go and deal with the dual location first. Who do we have here? Okay. So, yeah, because it's in Onimusha, we're actually going to have a pretty easy time, I think, in comparison to the yokai. The yokai does seem to have better armor, because you could see here, I can actually hit her for... Oh, no, actually, no, yeah, there we go. I can hit her for about 20 damage, whereas the yokai, I think, takes about 10. So he's got a much better helmet, and that does make a massive difference. So let's see what we actually get. I don't know whether the quality of the opponent, or dependent on how high of a level the opponent has, whether that has an effect. I mean, look at this. I can literally sell this for 72,000. That is a very, very nice helmet indeed, but it is not as good. It is not as good as what we were using beforehand. So, well, it's not as good as what some of our people have. I'd love it, actually, if there were different kinds of rewards that you could get for the dual locations instead of just helmets and stuff like that. But I understand the reasoning. I understand what they're attempting to do with that. Otherwise, okay, let's go in. Let's have a look. What do we have? 8 days. I don't think that's worth me waiting to starve out literally 97 people. I don't think that's worth it. So we are just going to build our wonderful braziers here. Just get a little bit of engineering skill. And then we're going to be making our way in. Oh, I actually leveled up. Oh, that's pretty fantastic. Okay. Yeah, so unfortunately for me, Shinjiro does need to be spec'd. Yeah, that is a little bit unfortunate for my liking. Do I want to spec more into bows? Yes, I will spec more into bows here now. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. Okay, so Shinjiro needs to be spec'd. Okay, so this is... Well, maybe not that bad, but yeah, this guy would be an absolutely insane vassal. Well, kind of. Would he? Maybe not, actually. Maybe not. Alright, so I'm going to be speccing him into athletics here with his focus point. And we also have trade skill, of course. So, well, I don't know why I say of course, but yeah, we do have some trade skill here, and, well, there's basically no point. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I spec him into there. Now, what I find quite amusing is that he comes with a polearm, but his polearm, obviously, his polearm skill is not actually maxed out. So, you know what? It would be amazing if I could create him a weapon. Same thing with pretty much all of our people. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create them all Nodachis, and I'm just going to give them all the same weapon, basically the same kind of weapon, because they are just fantastic. And hopefully we're going to be able to get some amazing kill streaks going on with every single one of them too. Alright, so this particular keep is definitely one of those that I feel needs to be handled with care, because this is one that definitely has a significant amount of chance for you just to die. You could just die very, very quickly here, because there are many, many opportunities for opponents to shoot you, and, well, hopefully the snow will save me a little bit. Well, they were barely able to do anything at all to the battering ram, so we can just enter here extremely easily. So much audacity that we're having right now. And maybe, just maybe, oh yeah, you know what? Should I... see, that's the thing. I'm not entirely sure. Most of the time, it's probably not going to be the best idea for me to do anything like Ramboing it up, as it were. As in, going way ahead and eliminating every single person in our path, or shall we say eliminating every single enemy force in the future. Not sure if that's a particularly good idea. Most of the time I'd say probably not, but actually, you know what, it doesn't seem to really make that much difference, because you could see here my forces have already gotten through. Let's see. Oh dear. Yeah, so this is the point. I don't want to go this way. I don't want to go this way without anyone, because they're going to get shot. That's the thing. We're all going to get shot. I am going to lead from the front, but it is going to be a bit dangerous for me to do that. Yes, yes. The damage that we could do to the gate is immense as well. Look at that. I can literally hit people through that due to the hitboxes. That was what I was talking about earlier. Okay, so we have 234 in medicine skill now as well. Obviously, as time goes on, medicine skill will level up to 275, and then we will have one of the... Maybe... Actually, you know what? It might be... No, I'm not gonna say it's the strongest perk. I personally don't think it's the strongest perk in the game, but it is extremely, extremely powerful. Because obviously 25 HP, I mean, really, how can you say no, right? It's just so good. But yeah, Shinjiro is doing an absolutely fantastic job. Look at that. Look, he is literally leveling up his athletic skill very, very nicely. And I cannot wait to see what he's going to be like once he actually gets a proper weapon, because his weapon right now is, of course, a polearm that is only capable of thrusting. So it's not going to be significantly amazing. And we're just going to go here, do some nice little overheads. Usually I'm not a terribly big fan of overheads. I mean, I like overheads, don't get me wrong, but it is a little bit awkward with the way that the Bannerlord angling works. But it's okay. You know, we're still going to be completely fine with it. We don't have to worry too much. And indeed, oh yeah, there we go. It's so satisfying. It really is. Every single time we get into a situation like this where we have a bunch of enemies against us and they are just oblivious. They're just oblivious to us. It's just too nice. Hello. Oh wow. It's been a while since we've actually had this kind of thing happen. Okay. What is going on here with these guys? They apparently just want to get absolutely slaughtered. I'm surprised they're not running. Some of them are. Some of them are. Okay, yes. I mean, as you'd expect. I mean, really, they should be running much more than they are. But yeah, okay. Well, we'll see what we could do. Maybe we're gonna have a good time here. How many have we eliminated so far? Anyway, yes, 239 total. How many did they have? Like 500 or something like that? I think we should be okay. We might even be able to force most of them in a retreat. That is ideally my objective. Pretty much every single time I go into a siege, all I want to see is the enemy running away. That's it. I just want to see them running away. Yes, it's fun to get a lot of kills, right? It's fun to get a lot of kills. fun to get a lot of skill experience and stuff like that. But when it comes to, you know, efficiency of capturing stuff, I much prefer to reduce their morale and have their morale just be immediately depleted. And it is a little bit more difficult than you might expect to actually do that. But, well, we do get that, you know, uncommon occurrence quite often, maybe, if I could say that. I don't know, it very much depends. Obviously, it's mostly about getting a huge amount of kills in a short space of time, but sometimes that just doesn't happen. No. Sometimes you get shot, you know, sometimes you get shot. Sometimes the gate is between you and the opponent. And indeed, I'm going to try to get around the side here. Nice little overheads to kind of clear the way somewhat. Don't take too much damage now, Bruce. Don't take too much damage. Obviously, the Yari, right? The Yari weapon that the enemy is using. Look at this. I literally just died. I literally just died from these polearms. These polearms. And you'd think to yourself, these polearms are absolutely terrible in infantry combat, but they're actually not. They're actually not, because you know why, right? They have crush through blocks. So first of all, they are capable of going through your parry, right? So if you're trying to parry, you're trying to block, stuff like that, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to them. They'll still go through your block, and they will still do a little bit of damage. It doesn't matter whether they do, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20. Obviously, the less that they do, the better. But it's still damage, you know, it's still damage. And there are so many of these Ashigaru polearm wielding fellows that they are just gonna, well, as I said before, they're just gonna wear you down over time, and that's gonna be game over. So yeah, very, very insidious. It's an insidious weapon because of the way that works. And of course it has piercing damage. Yeah, it has piercing damage as well. And piercing damage, of course, as we know, is extremely good against highly protected targets. If you don't have a blunt weapon or anything like that, then a piercing weapon will definitely do the job. It will definitely do the job. And now let's have a look and see how much we're actually going to make here. I'm not going to skip it this time, so we can see. Yeah, oh wow, okay, it was actually a lot more renown than I anticipated. 172 renown and 134 influence. That is immense. Okay, I love it. Now let's see if we can actually get some samurai. Getting very unlucky here, actually. Wow, okay. Yeah, well, I guess it doesn't matter too much. I mean, yeah, I guess it kind of doesn't matter too much, because we do have 70 prisoners right now. So I think that's probably pretty fine. Not going to claim this, despite the fact they are probably going to be giving it to me. And we also have a person coming to besiege potentially. Are you gonna take it back? No, you're not gonna take it back. Okay, they're gonna go to Masuyama Castle. Okay, well that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because we obviously just took that. I'm just gonna let these guys choose whoever they want to take ownership of the castle. And then we're going to see how we do. Okay, so let's see now. I would love to go to the town, but as I said before, I feel like the best case... you know what? No, wait. We can't leave here just yet. I have to wait just a little bit of time, because I don't want these guys to immediately turn around and then besiege this castle once I have left. Because as we've seen from previous experience, the Bannerlord AI is a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird sometimes. And generally what it tends to do is it will know from supernatural sources that you have left a particular fief, and they will go back and they will attack the weakest place. And they'll know that just through sheer power of will, through the telepathy of their mind, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, it is obviously a little bit annoying when that happens. The surgeon is in this area. Okay, he's actually in this town right now. Okay, well, let's just recruit these guys the best we can. These guys are those. Okay, I don't really want those. Okay, so we're gonna go into the smithy real quick. And the cool thing about the smithy, obviously, right now is that I have a lot of very, very good weapons, and we can get a lot of materials, but we're actually doing pretty fine on materials right now, so I don't really need to worry about it. So let's go for an Odachi. Let's create... What do we want? What do we want? I think we'll probably go for this one because we don't really need a massive weapon, right? We don't really need a massive weapon here. I would like to make something that is about 110 for them. So we'll go for a slightly shorter blade because they are obviously going to be, well, in close quarters, aren't they? They're going to be in close quarter situations. I don't really want to give them a really, really high level hilt. There doesn't seem, I mean, there's not really any point in that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create this. And a balanced one to begin with. That's pretty nice. Okay, that's pretty good. Another balanced one. Okay, that's great. How many companions do I have? I have like, well, I have 8, don't I? But I don't think I have all of them with me, do I? Maybe I do. Okay, well, let's create quite a few then. There we go. That's probably going to do. I assume that's probably going to be completely fine. And we do have a couple of balanced ones as well, which is really, really nice. So Shinjiro is going to be getting this. Let's just give him that. I don't think he really needs the Yari. I don't think he really needs to use that, if I'm honest. So we're just going to give him that. And then we'll just give everyone else some very, very nice weapons too. Let me actually just see here. There we go. Everyone is looking much better now. And yeah, we need to actually take these. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. So one thing we actually want to do, and I don't know whether I've even looted one of these, but I would like. No, I haven't. Interesting. Interesting. It's good that we're actually at a town then, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a gun, because our new companion is actually a gunner. He has a gunner skill. And well, I don't. Oh no, they have some. They have some. Okay, fantastic. Whew. I was a little bit worried there for a second. Okay, so let's have a look at the speed, accuracy, speed. What? Okay, what's the difference between these two? Ah, the accuracy. Okay, the accuracy is the difference. Okay, so that means that what we're going to do is we're going to give this to him. There we go. And let's get him some ammunition as well. There we are. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at the difference between these guns here. I just want to make sure that I'm giving him the right one. The speed rating of these things is kind of crazy. This is also doing much more damage, but look at the accuracy. Do we want him to have good accuracy, or do we want him to have 50 more damage? I think the way that he is right now is probably fine. I think he's probably going to be killing quite a few people. So pretty happy with this. And now what we can do is we can make our way on to, yep, as I said, yeah, look at that. As I said, they are going to be attempting to take back the castle immediately. Ah, yes. So we have decided to make peace with the Usugi. Actually, pretty sad, because I was just about to head into the siege there as I was creating siege weapons. Oh, well, never mind. Okay, so we are also at war against the SATAKE clan. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our way over there, and I will be attempting to strike a decisive blow, a very decisive blow against their main town. Alright, so what I've done now is I've actually changed the personal damage for a different display. So what's happening now is if I just do this, there we go. I am now, as you see, doing 282 damage, headshot, blah blah blah, and you know, actually showing me all the other relevant things. And what I do very much appreciate about this particular readout is the fact that it actually shows you how much extra damage you get from perks, right? So from your perks and stuff like that, it really actually shows you pretty much everything that you'd want to see. Because most of the time you don't actually see that stuff. Most of the time you don't actually get the opportunity to be like, oh wow, I'm actually getting 81 extra damage from blah blah blah, whatever it is. And I think that's really, really cool. Unfortunately, I am getting shot to death here, which is really bad. Okay, so let me actually just see here. Do you think I can do something kind of good? Ooh, kind of unfortunate right there. Kind of unfortunate. Okay, so obviously death by 1,000 cuts. Once again, I went way too deep. I went way too deep in the opponent's lines. I did manage to kill 65, but that's pretty much it. That's kind of terrible, isn't it? Yeah, that's kind of terrible. So you know what? Before any of our forces actually take way too much damage, I'm actually just going to get out of there, and we're going to go back in just a moment. As you can see, this is kind of what we're facing right now, and yeah, it's not looking super good, is it? No, it's not looking super good. So we're just gonna get our forces back on their feet, mostly me, and then we're gonna go back in. Alright, so this time around I'm gonna go in through the front door. I don't know, I'm not entirely sure really, but I feel like whenever we go in over the ladder, I feel like that does make a huge difference to our overall survival. You know, because we just get shot from every single direction. And yeah, okay, look, we do have some people inside there right now, right? We've got some people inside there. That's pretty good, right? But unfortunately for us, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it just makes so much more sense for us to come in from this. I mean, look at this. My HP is full, right? I have full HP. My forces have already come in here. I mean, this is what they're for, technically, right? You're supposed to not really be a stupid idiot like I am and literally just go and pretty much attack everything in sight, you know, without your forces helping you. You know, you're not supposed to be some kind of insane one-man army, but unfortunately, yeah, the Bannerlord AI is... Yeah, the Bannerlord AI, when they're using bows, is... I just want you to note something real fast, right? Just look at the text log. Every single time I'm walking up to these guys, they shoot me in the face. Have you noticed? Look at this. Almost every single time. Basically what? 7 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times, something like that. They are shooting me in the neck or the head. And I wasn't actually aware of how extremely audacious that is, because usually you're not going to see that because I don't have this, you know, enabled. But look at that. I got hit in the neck again. Hit in the chest, but that's only because I'm not walking towards them right now. Another neck shot. Another neck shot. And then obviously chest. Okay. Yeah, but I just wanted to draw your attention to that because I find that actually quite funny. Because just imagine how insane that actually is. These guys all hitting me in the neck. I refuse to believe that every single one of these guys is a master marksman. That doesn't really make much sense. You know, most of them are not going to be. They're going to be decent-ish, and some of them are going to be terrible, and others are going to be amazing. So, you know, it just very much depends on who you are and everything. But I do feel as though that yeah, you know, that kind of thing happens. You know, that kind of thing happens. I'm not gonna hark on about it, even though I am actually doing that right now. So let's just move on in here and do some damage, can we? Yes, I think we can. This is slightly easier as well to kind of know what's happening, because obviously we are not having that massive spam across the entirety of our screen. And unfortunately for me, it does still mean that we're taking damage from the Yari, because they are just amazing weapons. They are very, very good. As I say, whenever I discovered earlier in the series that Yaris had crush through block, I mean, really, it's, as I say, that is probably one of the best things that could have been done to polearms in general, because, I mean, let's face it, you know, as I said, it's very unlikely that someone would be able to block a full speed horse with a guy on it, you know, doing a massive amount of damage with the polearm, with a nice thrusting polearm. I do think it would be rather improbable that they would be able to block that with one arm, or You know, even with a shield, I mean, that's the reason why we had lancing and all that stuff, right? You know, lance competitions, jousting, so on and so forth, you know, that kind of thing. And generally, they would get killed. They would die. They would die doing that kind of stuff. And yeah, it would be, well, be pretty obvious that in a real situation, if you're doing any kind of lancing on the field of battle, on the actual field of battle, that you are probably going to, well, pretty much beat anyone if you manage to hit them dead on with a lance. It's just way too strong, especially with the speed of your mount. It's gonna be pretty incredible. Anyway, there you go. That is indeed a victory for us right there. Very, very pleased on that. And I believe, yeah, look at that. Yeah, not too bad. Now, the reason why we were able to do that, by the way, is because, or should we say do that so easily in comparison to before, is because this guy turned up. Yes, one of our wonderful allies decided that he would come along. And look at that. Look, imagine how much renown we would have gotten if we did that by ourselves. 115 renown when we were helped. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. Okay, so we're just going to let this guy go. I said I'm going to execute people with bad personalities, so that's what we're going to do. But yeah, as it is right now, we don't really need to do that to this guy. Yeah, I'm just going to move on. As I say, I don't really care about roguery skill or leveling that up or anything like that. I don't know whether you noticed. Did you notice any of these companions killing any of the any of the enemies? Because I didn't notice anything like that, but I was kind of hoping that maybe they did. I don't know. It didn't seem like they were doing much. Anyway, there are only 3 castles remaining, and then we can eliminate this faction as well. I actually cannot wait. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.